everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome if you're new. So with every single update, including mid-season updates, I like to give you guys updated best class setups to use. All these guns that I'm about to show you are pretty much the weapons that are the most dominant and most unstoppable. Granted, all of these class setups are pretty much the same as they were at the start of Season 3, but you know, there are some minor differences because they did do an overhaul as far as bullet velocity goes for the assault rifles, and I also did get a chance to test the bullet velocities on the Ak74u and the LC10 as well. And I'm also going to show you guys a time to kill chart just so you can see why these weapons are so dominant. So if you guys do enjoy the content, a like is appreciated. If we could hit 300 likes within 24 hours of this video being posted, that would be absolutely amazing. You guys have been crushing that like goal as of lately, and you know, let's just keep this momentum going, man. And make sure to subscribe if you're brand new around here to make your way back to more Call of Duty content. Join Turbo Nation today, make it official, and let's get on with the video. We're gonna start off with the AK47. The AK47 has a 300 millisecond time to kill, which is the fastest next to the Fara 83 in the assault rifle category. And with this class setup, we can extend that damage range of 300 millisecond time to kill out to about 70 meters, which is absolutely insane. What makes the AK-47 a top 5 meta weapon is because it's one of those weapons that do not need all 8 attachments for it to be as effective as possible. So for the first attachment, I'm gonna go with the suppressor. So this is just gonna help us stay alive as long as possible without being shown on the enemy minimap when we're firing our weapon. So of course this is key in pretty much any situation, especially if you're playing aggressive, you're laid back, or you're trying to flank around the map. It doesn't matter. Suppressor is going to help you stay alive. Now, I understand it does reduce your effective damage range and your bullet velocity. However, we're going to mitigate that negative by putting on the VDV Reinforced, which is going to allow us to increase our bullet velocity and our effective damage range. Now, as you can see, it extends all the way out to 71 meters regardless, even if we do have the suppressor on there, which is why it doesn't really matter if you put on the suppressor or not. Rule of thumb is whenever you have a negative, always try to mitigate that as much as possible. Under barrel, we are going to be going with the 𝗧𝗘𝗏 speed grip. So on assault rifles, they recently did a buff to the sprinting move speed. So if we're going to add this attachment, this is just gonna make it even faster for an assault rifle. Now, I know we're not using a muzzle that does help out with vertical recoil control. You could go with the 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 compensator if you want to, but albeit the AK-47 is just one of the easier guns to control as far as recoil. That's why I figured, you know, just putting on the 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 speed grip is just sufficient enough. Next attachment is gonna be the serpent wrap. Of course, we do want to decrease our aim down sight time without having too many cons to it. So that's why we're going to go with the serpent wrap versus the GRU elastic wrap. This is going to reduce your shooting move speed and your sprint to fire time as well. And believe it or not, shooting move speed really is a big deal if you're going to reduce it by a lot. So if you guys want to see an in-depth video, you know, showing my testing of shooting move speed when it's maxed out versus when you try to mitigate it as much as possible, check that link down below in the description. It is definitely worth a watch. And I believe shooting move speed is one of the most overlooked weapon stats in the game that a lot of people tend to ignore. We're going to be going with the KGB skeletal stock. Aim walking movement speed, sprint to fire time, pretty straightforward. Of course, we want to do help out in those aspects because of the prior attachments that we did put on. Remember, we want to mitigate those negatives. Now, if for whatever reason you want to use an 8 attachment class setup for the magazine, I highly recommend using the 40 round magazine, or you can go with the tape mags. Now, my reasoning behind this is because most of these attachments here, besides the first 2 that I mentioned, they do reduce your speed in some way, shape, or form. So obviously you don't want to hinder that on an assault rifle. So that's why I'd rather go with the 40 round or the tape mags. Body is going to be the KGB target designator. And for the optic, I don't recommend an optic on the AK-47. The iron sights are just beautiful. But if you want to go with an optic, I definitely recommend using something like the Microflex LED. So here's the rest of my class setup. And keep in mind, moving forward, so I don't have to keep repeating myself, this is usually my 6 perk class setup, as well as my tactical, lethal, and field upgrade. Secondary is up to you. You can use whatever you want to. I'm just normally using the 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏s, but I very rarely ever have to use my secondary. All right, next up, we have the KSP 45. This is amazing for up close engagements. I feel like the KSP45 is still being slept on. I don't really see too many people using it. TTK is extremely fast. This is great for just deleting enemies, and there's low recoil on the KSP because it's a burst fire weapon. And with this class setup, you can extend that TTK all the way out to 19 meters. So anyways, let's just get into the class setup. So again, another one of those things where you don't need all 8 attachments for this gun to be amazing. So with the muzzle, we're using the agency suppressor. This is going to help us out with that vertical recoil as well as that muzzle flash concealment. Again, we're staying stealthy. Another reason why this is a top 5 meta weapon in my opinion, because anything that we can do to stay alive and the class setup allows it while being balanced, you know, in my eyes, that's categorized as meta. So the effective damage range does get reduced by 25%, but there really isn't anything to worry about because we're going to use the task force barrel, which is going to mitigate that and bring that effective damage range to 19 meters. And for SMGs, I generally don't recommend using SMGs at longer ranges anyway, especially with assault rifles having lower bullet velocities in general. You're going to have a hard time tracking moving targets at longer ranges, so just keep that in mind. Underbarrel is going to be the patrol grip for the KSP45. Again, KSP45 is super easy to control that recoil. That's why I figured, you know what, we might as well put on a little bit more speed on this gun. It increases that sprinting move speed to 15.38, as well as that sprint to fire time gets down to 269 milliseconds. Handle is going to be the serpent wrap once again, and stock is going to be the no stock attachment. All right, now moving on to the Ak74u. So in my previous top 5 meta weapon at the beginning of season 3, I actually made the Ak74u a wild card or bonus class setup. Because, you know, everybody loves the Ak74u. It's one of the most dominant guns in the game, especially if you know how to use it well. However, after the mid-season update, they did revert slide canceling. This is just still an amazing weapon, regardless, because of the movement. Ak74u is one of those class setups that do not require 8 attachments. So for the muzzle, we're going with the 𝗧𝗘𝗠𝗧𝗔𝗠𝗡𝗙 compensator. Barrel is going to be the task force barrel once again. Underbarrel is the 𝗧𝗘𝗠𝗧𝗏 speed grip. Handle is the serpent wrap, and stock is going to be the 𝗂𝐔𝐒𝐈𝐍𝐿 stock. Again, if you want to go with the 8 attachment class setup, you can either go with the 40 round drum or the 𝗪𝗓𝗪𝗔 clamp. Really personal preference there. Body is going to be the KGB target designator, and optic is just like the AK-47. I don't really recommend it, but if you want to go that route, again, you can use the microflex LED. Fara 83 is also one of the fastest killing assault rifles in the game next to the AK-47, which is why it deserves to be on this top 5 meta list. So for the optic, we're going with the microflex LED. Muzzle is going to be the 𝗧𝗘𝗠𝗧𝗏 compensator. Barrel is the 19.5-inch Liberator barrel. There is no other barrel that you should be using on the Fara 83. This is going to dramatically make your hit detection a lot faster. And if you take a look at the other barrels, none of these other barrels that are offered here aren't attractive at all. And I don't see how this would actually translate to, you know, a better gunfight result. So that's why the Liberator barrel. If you guys haven't seen my video testing all the barrels on the assault rifles after the bullet velocity was buffed, make sure to check that video down below in the description. You'll see why I chose this Liberator barrel. Body is going to be the KGB target designator. Underbarrel is going to be the 𝗧𝗘𝗠𝗧𝗏 speed grip. Magazine is going to be the 40 round. Handle is going to be the serpent wrap, and stock is going to be the 𝗂𝐔𝐒𝐈𝐍𝒗 stock. And when I'm running an 8 attachment class setup, I am definitely going to go with flak jacket, scavenger, and ninja. Of course, these are personal preferences. Really just depends on your playstyle, but those are my go-to when I'm running an 8 attachment class setup. All right, and next up we have the LC10. One thing I do have to say about this gun is that it is one of the best guns for hit detection all around. The LC10 is just amazing, and why it's so dominant. It's great at longer ranges. Although it did get its damage range reduced, it's still a beam with this class setup. So for the muzzle, we're using the infantry compensator to help with that vertical recoil. Barrel is going to be the task force barrel. This is going to extend that damage range out to 19 meters, which again falls within that range that I do recommend you guys to use this on. And even if you do decide to challenge outside of this range, you're still going to get a 375 millisecond time to kill. And again, we're going to go over that TTK chart just so you guys can get a better idea. And this is why the LC10 is great even at long ranges. It's pretty much the only SMG that could probably compete with assault rifles since its TTK is rather low for an SMG. Underbarrel barrel is going to be the SFOD speed grip, handle is the serpent wrap, and stock is going to be the Raider stock. Now for an 8 attachment class setup magazine, I'm going to go with the 45 round. Body is going to be the soft target designator, and optic I am going with the microflex LED. All right, and here is my bonus wildcard class setup. This is a freaking monster, man. If you're gonna use this, you gotta use it perfectly. You can get guaranteed 1 burst kills. So for the optic, you gotta go with the 𝗧𝗘𝗥𝗕𝗢𝗠 multi-zoom. Muzzle is gonna be the infantry compensator. Barrel is going to be the task force barrel. This is the main attraction to this class setup and why that 1 burst kill is possible. Body is going to be the soft target designator. Underbarrel is going to be the SFOD speed grip. Magazine is going to be the 45 round. Handle is going to be the serpent wrap, and stock is going to be the SAS combat stock. Another vital attachment to this class setup. I mean, look at how much aim walking movement speed does get added with this attachment. 78% is absolutely insane, and also it increases that shooting move speed. Sprint to fire time is not as needed on a gun like the M16 because you're going to be playing at a distance. You're not really going to be playing up close and personal or aggressive, so shooting move speed is going to help you out in longer range gunfights. All right, so now I want to show you guys this TTK chart of all of the top 5 meta weapons that I just showed you classes for, including the M16. So this is just to give you guys an idea of just how good these guns are, and you just simply cannot beat them. So let's start off with close range engagements. Here we have the KSP at 210 millisecond time to kill. This is absolutely insane, and trust me, if you haven't given the KSP a chance yet, use it on a map like Diesel or Nuketown. You're going to be melting opponents rather quickly. Up to about 19 meters, that is just absolutely unheard of and insane. Now, it comes with its caveats. Obviously, it's not a fully automatic weapon, so if you're going to engage in like a surprise type of combat up close and personal, you have to be ready and just assume there's always an opponent there around every corner, or else you're going to get caught and you're not going to be able to spray and pray like you can with fully automatic SMGs. So just keep that in mind. But nonetheless, once you learn how to master using the KSP-45, this thing cannot be stopped. As you can see, it's pretty much in a league of its own. Now, the second best option for close range engagements is going to be the Ak74u at 258 milliseconds. This is great as a fully automatic submachine gun, and especially with the amazing movement and handling of this gun, it's going to be super easy to dance circles around your opponent, especially with the setup that I did provide for you guys. Ak74u is amazing in a lot of close quarter combat situations. Now, if you want to engage in that mid-range or that long range with an SMG, reason why the LC10 is so special is because of its fairly low TTK, and this TTK extends all the way out to about 50 meters. Super easy to control from longer ranges, so should you decide to engage at long ranges, it's not going to be a problem whatsoever. That's why the LC10 is definitely a meta weapon in my book. Now, as far as assault rifles go, your top 2 choices are going to be the AK-47 and the Fara 83. So Fara 83 and the AK-47 have literally the same exact TTK at 300 millisecond time to kill. With the exception of the AK-47, the range goes all the way out to 70 meters. And I have to disclose that these stats are actually with the best class setups that I give you guys. So the AK-47, the initial damage range of 38 gets extended all the way out to 70 meters with the VDV reinforced barrel. That's why it's super key and important to put that barrel on the AK-47. And the Fara 83, what makes it amazing is that it has this amazing range while keeping that TTK and utilizing that Liberator barrel to give you 100% bullet velocity, which is going to give you pretty much instant hit detection. The hit detection on the Fara 83 is just absolutely amazing. And excuse me, I also do want to add that the LC10 has amazing hit detection as well, which is why it is viable. It's one of the more consistent weapons in the game. And if you want to win more gunfights, we need consistency, and that's what the LC10 and the Fara 83 provide. Now, last but not least, let's talk about the M16. So the M16 with this exact build, this is with the task force barrel, you get that 1 burst kill up to 32 meters, and you aim directly at their stomach, you're going to get those 1 burst kills, and it's just going to feel like it's not fair at all. Same thing with the KSP. These burst weapons are just absolutely dominant, and they cannot be stopped, especially with this TTK of of 308 milliseconds. This is absolutely amazing. Let me know what you guys think of this. I know there's going to be, you know, some people who disagree with me. Maybe I left out one of your favorite weapons, but I'm literally just bringing you guys the data that supports why these are top 5 in the game. Since this game is pretty balanced, we do see some dominant weapons for up close, dominant weapons for mid-range, and then dominant weapons for your longer range engagements. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure to leave a like on this video if you guys did enjoy. Let's try to hit 300 likes within 24 hours. I'd really appreciate it. And make sure to subscribe if you're brand new around here on your way out to make your way back to the channel. And for the rest of you guys, if you guys actually made it this far into the video, number one, you're absolute legends. Since this is a meta related video, I want you guys to comment down below, be all end all. I appreciate everybody who watches to the very end. I do read the comments. I may not be able to get to all of them, but trust me, I am reading through the comments and I see who all my true supporters are. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. I hope you guys have a good day. Yo, if you guys are always on your computer all day or you like to game for long sessions, definitely check out GamerAdvantage.com for these blue light blocking glasses. Quite literally the best blue light glasses that you can ever find on the market. Make sure to check out GamerAdvantage.com and just learn more about it, man. There's so many benefits to keeping your eyes nice and healthy. You won't feel that strain at the end of the day, and you'll go to sleep like a baby at the end of the day, and that's the best part. You won't feel tired at all. Definitely check out GamerAdvantage.com. Use code TURBO at checkout.